Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I am so excited about today's guest. I've really been looking forward to this interview pretty much since I started the show. And so if you guys are hopping on live, please make sure you say hi. Tell us that you're here, and ask your questions. Give Sara a shout out because many of you likely know her. I often call her. I tried to get her to change her name to Sara D because I call her the female version of Gary V, and it just sounded good to me. She didn't think that was the best idea, but I'm still going to call her Sara D. So because I feel like her message and her impact is that impactful. So if you've ever heard her speak or you've ever caught one of her lives, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Sara is a success coach, and she has been doing this. You've been in business for yourself, what, 5 years? Yeah?
Almost 6 years. Yeah, it'll be 6 in September. It's crazy.
And Sara basically took last year and crushed it. Totally crushed it. So, she's also the dog mom to a beautiful little pup named Ellie. And I really wanted to get Sara on the show because she really has always been so open, so transparent about some of the things that come up in life, that come up as you embark on this journey that we call entrepreneurship. And some of those things that, that can really set you back, but she didn't let them hold any of that stuff. She didn't let it hold her back. In fact, she kind of took it as like, hey, I'll show you. And she turned it around. And last year she earned over $500,000 in her business. And that's incredible, you guys. Like, that is huge. So I'm going to turn it over to Sara because I can talk more about Sara in a little bit because I have a story that I want to tell you guys. For those of you who don't know, I've been working with Sara, full time for the last few months and off and on for the last year or two. And so I know Sara quite well, and I totally adore her and admire her. But I want you guys to get to know her and let her share a little bit of her story with you guys.
Sure. So I feel like it's like such a, as they all are, kind of like a multifaceted story, right? I started my business in 2012. At the time I was working as a marketing coordinator for a small local business. And I was kind of feeling like this whole 2 weeks off a year, really isn't working for me. And I knew, there's nobody I feel like I should share this more, but there's nobody I love or respect more than my father. There's nobody in the world, but I also grew up seeing him hate his job, be miserable 99% of the time. When it came to his job, he was a wonderful father, but and I just made a conscious decision from an early age that I was never going to live like that. And so in working my marketing job, I was just feeling like, I can't imagine living like this for the rest of my life. And seeing an opportunity, knowing so many other small businesses needed the marketing help. It was really funny because I was kind of maybe in 2 years, I'll quit my job and I'll do this. And then the more that I got excited about it, I'm maybe 2 months. I'm just going to do this now. Why the hell am I going to wait? So I really within a month, gave my notice at my really steady full-time job that I enjoyed, but I just wasn't fulfilled in it. And started my business as a freelance marketer where I really just started helping other small businesses with marketing their businesses because I just saw such a need, which I think is such a bigger story that there's so many solutions out there. So many people need things that there's an opportunity for all of us to take our skills and create that solution. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just agreeing with you.
I was just saying, so my business has changed quite a bit over the years. I thank God. I don't do what I did when I started off for $15 an hour, cold calling plumbing companies. But it's really just, it's just been this natural evolvement based on what I love and based on what I wanted to share with people.
Good. We've got a couple people popping on saying hi. Hi, Carrie.
I've never done live before like this.
No, I know. And the way you see it is a little bit different than the way it pops up on Facebook. And Maddie's here. He's like, hey, I know her.
Her again.
You know what? That's so funny because like I used to like listen to Sarah's training videos or like have like conversations with her in the car. And when I was listening to the videos, Easton, my 4-year-old, he'd be like, Mom, not her again. Can we listen to, like, can we put on this song or can we watch a movie or something?
I don't blame him.
Not her again. But so before we get into, I'm going to save this for a little bit later. So you guys make sure you stay tuned. I want to basically tell you guys how Sara pretty much changed my life. So, which is, it's good. It's good. And, but I wanted to talk a little bit too, like this whole first season. And I feel like I could do this, this season of overcoming that initial fear and self-doubt and all that outside chatter, because, I know that we've talked, and even in our mastermind, we've talked about how sometimes people think we're like a group of weirdos because they don't quite understand what we're doing, but we're like, yeah, we're weird and we love it. And, weird is wealth is kind of the way that you see it in the online entrepreneurial space. But tell us some of the things that you've overcome as far as like the fear and self-doubt, and, even if it's still something that you work with now.
Oh, I think it's it's so funny for you to say that, because it's like, I was in Bali like a month ago with like all of these high level women, and all of us are like sitting there talking about how like we feel so weird sharing our business journeys, and we feel so weird. And we're like, wait, we're in Bali right now, like in an all expense paid thing, working our businesses, making money. And we feel weird that the people in the cubicles with their 2 weeks a year are judging us. And I don't say that to be rude towards them, but it's just such a funny thing that like, because we're, again, different, we feel like less than sometimes, or we feel embarrassed about the things that we want to share. And like, to me, just ultimately, right, like life is too short, whether it's a relationship, your business, whatever, like how you're working. Like I can't understand not wanting to create your life, create the life that you want to live, rather than, again, just going to work and getting a paycheck and working for somebody else. And like, I think what like I love, just like I know that I shared that with you guys, like the first page of Crushing It in Gary's new book, but like, or newest book, but like we're living in this time where we have this tremendous opportunity to like take the internet and take what we love and make as much money as we want off of it. So like, it's still not the norm, right? So there are going to be the people who judge us, and there are going to be the people who don't understand it. And I can't sit here and like act as though that doesn't bother me from time to time. I know that, like marketing things on my profile has been like a really weird, like it's been a thing for me. But at the end of the day, I feel like my purpose, and your purpose, has to be so much bigger than like what somebody has to say that doesn't get it. Like now I kind of like to look at it as like this like light thing, like, oh, okay, that's cute that you don't get it. Cool. That's fine. Like I'm going to go make money and change the world. Like you go to your job that you hate. Like that's fine. But I think it's an important point to make that, like, I think when I was starting out, I always thought once I make $10,000 a month, I won't worry about that anymore. Or, like so on and so forth. But it's just something that we all have to, I don't want to say deal with, but work through, just like with any other mindset issue. We shift, we get better at shifting quickly, and that's all there is to it.
Right. Agreed. And do you have, I know you could probably talk for days on this, but what little tidbit do you have for the woman who's watching this right now, who's maybe on the fence about starting, whether it's MLM or starting her own business, because she's worried about, I have this crazy kid here who's climbing all over, who's holding herself back because of these fears or these self-doubts. What's one tip that, I mean, like I said, I know we could go on and on about this all day, but what's one tip you would give her to tell her that it's okay, besides that obviously you're out there doing it and crushing it? And
life is too short to sit there and think about something and think about something and think about something and then not take action on it, and then to potentially regret not doing it. I say this all the time, but like when you're, okay, let's say you want to start an MLM business, or let's say you want to start your coaching business, whatever the hell it is, like we're not curing cancer here. If it doesn't work out, like, you'll be okay for the most part. Like, I'm not necessarily saying to that person, quit your job right away or whatever it is, but like, take an effing chance on something that you believe in and something that you care about. And the worst thing that happens is it didn't work out that well. What, you're out a couple $100? Like, and again, we're living in this time where you can create, this is not where you have to create a brick and mortar business and buy the building and buy the equipment. And like, you can get started by just going live on your effing Facebook profile. And if it's calling to you, do it. Like, allow that to be important to you and allow yourself to go for it. And what's the worst thing that can happen?
Exactly. And the cool thing about, like, especially if you're starting with MLM, the stuff that you're buying, whether it's essential oils or, you know, whatever, it's consumable. So you get to use it anyway. So technically, in my opinion, you're not actually out any money if you decide not to pursue it further. That's my opinion. Yeah, you're fine, Maddie.
I think it's a tricky / dangerous thing to start a business because you want to start a business, right? And I see a lot of people do that. We're like, well, I'm a health and fitness coach, but I don't know what to talk about when it comes to health and fitness. I'm like, okay, then why are we a health and fitness coach? Like, this, for me, for you, like, this is like our purpose. I could talk about this all day long. So like, I as I do. So I encourage that person, right?
I've got two kids fighting over a song.
You have that mom, right? Specifically for the show, you have that mom who, like, obviously has a lot to do at home, and all these things, like, you get to take a product that you love, for example, and like share it with the world and make money off of it. Why the hell wouldn't you do that, right? It's such an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, and especially if it's something that you absolutely love and believe in, you know, exactly. Why not? Would you two please quit? They were perfectly fine until I hit like go live. You're not.
That's why my child is at doggy daycare today. I was like, I'm not risking this.
We have a wonderful nanny, and her daughter is graduating from Harvard. So we decided that was kind of important. So she's there with her daughter celebrating that right now.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so super, super awesome. Carrie said, so Amanda said hi. She said, looking beautiful as always. Carrie says, yes, you have to find the purpose. Yeah, and I think that until you find the purpose, especially even like one thing that, and you probably even picked up on this working with me, is that once you find something that you are so passionate about, that, like, for me, like empowering women to be successful and to be more than booger wipers at home, that for me is more meaningful than what somebody who doesn't understand could possibly say, or somebody, you know, like some naysayer. Like, for me, it's kind of like, well, if you don't think that empowering women to be amazing, awesome business owners is cool, then F off, you know, like.
Absolutely. If you like, that's the thing. I think a lot of people, and again, we speak to MLMs because, well, they're both, a lot of them are in our audience, but I think that sometimes happens with like, especially MLM business owners, where, in my opinion, they forget to lead with their purpose. They forget to lead with what they really want to share, and then it feels salesy, and it feels like, oh my God, I'm worried about what the women and the moms at school are going to think, blah, blah, blah. But when you really turn inwards and you're like, I would do this for free. Like, I would talk about this all day long. I would share this all day long. Like, it's not a money grab for me. It's truly something I feel so lit up by and so like empowered and excited to share. Yeah. It's a lot easier to let go of the opinions then. Yep.
And then the cool thing too is, like, if you're really passionate about your business, you know, like, and I know you and I have talked about this, and you really want to help somebody, you really want to work with somebody, you get to decide, like, okay, well, I can make a shift. I can lower the price for you if I want to. I can raise the price over here. I can extend payment plans. I can offer you a custom payment plan, like whatever it is. That, being able to have that ability to make that decision, you didn't have to ask anybody else for permission, first of all, which I think, you know, if you were still working with like marketing for plumbing companies, if you'd asked your boss, like, you know, these people really want us to like market for them, but they need us to work something out, he'd be like, nope. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of times, you know, coming to your boss about money type of stuff to begin with is like total taboo, right? So,
oh my God.
I mean,
I would never bring up money ever. Like, and it's so crazy now. Like 3 years ago, like I was terrified to talk about it.
Right. And I had the best boss ever. Like, I was talking with a gal who interviewed me on her podcast, and she was like, I feel like you're the odd person who actually liked their job before you left. And I was like, yeah, I liked my job. I had nothing bad to say about my boss. Please stop banging around. And I said, but I still wanted something more, and I still wanted to do my own thing. I still wanted to be here with these crazy kids tearing my house down, you know, like.
Can I say something about that? Because I feel like what I hear from a lot of the moms that I speak to is like, I think for like, I personally, like, I don't want children, right? But I feel like weird saying this, but like, I feel like a lot of women, like many of us just grow up and we want the house and the dog and the kids. And like, that's like what we aspire. So many people aspire to. And obviously there's nothing in the world wrong with that. But I think so many women that I speak to, then they get it and they almost act as though they need to feel guilty for wanting more. And F that. You can have a cool job. You can have the wonderful, beautiful kids and the beautiful home and the wonderful husband, your hot husband, for example. And you can still want to live your purpose. You can still want to feel fulfilled. And I think that's what like this comes back to, and like such a big part of like stepping into Unstoppable, which I know like was a really great thing for you. But like, if you want to live up here, not settling for this watered down version of it. And so again, this comes back to like, we're living in this time where we get to do that. We get to have something fulfilling. We get to live our purpose. Why the hell wouldn't we do that?
Exactly. And you know, it's like even myself, like I was talking to some of the girls yesterday about like, sometimes like I keep thinking about like, okay, well, Easton goes to school. Maybe I should put Maddie in like super, super part-time just so I have, you know, 3 hours a day to focus and not have them fighting with each other over a song that they're fighting over right now. You know, and then I'm like, no, you know, like then that mom guilt came in like, no, I left my job to be home with these guys. But then it's kind of like, so Nicole was like, listen, lady, like it's 12 hours a week. Like, don't feel guilty about having 12 hours a week to dedicate to focusing, because then the rest of the time, all you have to do is play, you know? And I'm like, oh.
Such a better mom.
Yeah.
They're going to remember like, it's just, yes, I can't even talk about that enough. Yes.
And, you know, and we talked about how if he was at that little school part-time, you know, like I said, it's 12 hours a week. So it's not even, it's nothing, right? And it's like, well, that's 12 hours a week. That's like kind of built-in play date. Please stop throwing stuff, Easton. So they get to have a play date. I get to work and focus and I get a lot more done in that period of time. And then all we have to do the rest of the day, the rest of the week is play with each other and go do fun things. And so it's like sometimes you need somebody like you or your business besties that you meet in these masterminds to kind of like help you like step through it a little bit and let you know, like remind you that it's okay to do other things. It's okay not to have to wipe boogers all day, every day, and to get a break, to take a break, because not everybody has, you know, the grandmother or the aunt or whatever, like in their community. Everybody's so spread out around the world now. It seems like, you know, like my kids' grandparents live thousands of miles away. So to call my mom or my mother-in-law and be like, could you come babysit for a few minutes? It's not actually practical, you know? So.
Well, and one thing I want to say to that too, again, not being a mom, but I also feel like one of my least favorite expressions in the world is like, the struggle is real. Like, I feel like most people walk around accepting that we're supposed to struggle, accepting that you're supposed to take it all on, expecting and accepting that like life has to be hard every damn day. Cause like, that's just what we've been used to. But again, I think we're living in this different time with the internet. I feel like an old lady every single time I say that, but like money is more easily available to us ever before. Like I can get a sale from Australia in 5 minutes if I want to, right? We have this opportunity to make more money and like generate more income than ever before. And that allows you to live a better quality of life. And if that means you get the landscaper or the person to do your laundry, why, like, that's a good, positive thing. It's not frowned upon when you get to be again a happier person with less struggle and ultimately a better mom.
Yeah, agreed. Easton, please let your brother hold it. So they're still fighting over the same song. They're addicted to Wreck-It Ralph and that song. But I was going to say something about what you just said about like the internet and like the old days. And I actually met an amazing woman last week, and I think she told me she was 66, and she was an attorney, and now she does more, please stop. Now she does more spiritual stuff, and she does mentoring, on a corporate level, and a lot of attorneys are her clients now. But she brought something up about how when in the 60s and the 70s, it was like free love and be free and do all these things, right? And then bam, like the 80s hit, and it was like back to like you have to report to the man, and you have to like check in, and there's no more freedom, and it's all hard work, and like nose to the grindstone. And if my phone survives this interview, I'm going to send a letter to Apple and let them know how fantastic their product is. Megan hopped on, and she says, I think a lot of moms feel bad about taking the time in their life to work. It's okay to be a mom in a way that works for you and ultimately will provide a good, happy life for your children. If that means daycare or babysitting so you can focus, so be it. So I feel like that's totally true, but I also feel like that's true for other things. Even if you don't want to be a work-at-home mom, maybe you don't want to work, you don't have to work, and that's wonderful. No shame in that at all. But maybe you still want to take some time to like do something for yourself. Like you want to go get a pedicure, or you want to just go have a cup of coffee by yourself. Like taking some time for self-care is important. Just a second. Could you please stop?
We need to give our souls what we need, right? It's like,
go get your iPad.
And then like going back to this with business, right? So many just hustle, but it's like, and this is like a big thing because I'm launching a new program that's so deeply about this, but like we get to, again, give ourselves what we need. We get to give ourselves, I love how Kat once said it on a program, on a training, like Kat with Katrina Ruth who's one of my coaches. She was like, he was such a healthy eater, all this stuff. And she was like, my belief is that if I deeply desire a piece of chocolate cake, like that piece of chocolate cake makes me healthier because it's what I actually want. And so I think just so many of us are not taught or encouraged to just actually go after what the hell we want. And it's nice to see that. I feel like that's changing. And that starts with us. That starts with us being the people who go after what we want. And we encourage others to do it. We give other people permission to do it themselves.
Agreed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Christine says she likes to go grocery shopping alone.
I bet.
I think there's a lot of things that we like to do alone that as moms sometimes we don't get to do, including go to the bathroom, take a shower.
Absolutely. Totally get it.
Even with you probably get little paws underneath the door every once in a while, like, what are you doing in there?
I can push the bathroom door open. I'm like, really? Like, I can't.
Okay, we've got a couple comments popping up that aren't popping up over here. Megan says self-care is at the bottom of everything. That's really, really true. And it took me working like with Sara and with the other moms in our mastermind group to really like come to terms with like, it's okay to not backburner yourself. And ultimately, if you stop backburnering yourself, your business will do better. Your fun time with your kids will be better, and everything comes through better because you feel better overall. And I know that's like the, summed up version of it, but it is true.
It's so deeply true. Okay.
Angelica says, Sara, you're the bomb. So excited to hear you talking today. Yay. Sara is the bomb. So before we get into like exactly what Sara does in her business that earned her $500,000 last year and quite a decent income for the years prior to that, I wanted to talk. I promised you guys that I would tell you guys how Sara changed my life. And so Sara put out a program. She's like the program queen, and all of her stuff is good stuff. So so I was like addicted, right? Like I was following Sara. I was taking her courses. And it was after one of the hurricanes, I think, Sara did this awesome like charitable thing where if you donated X amount of dollars, I don't even remember what it was, to the charity, then she gave you a free coaching call. And so I was like, well, I wanted to donate to the charity anyways. And heck yeah, I get a call with Sara. Like, it was super cool because I don't think you were doing one-on-one coaching at the time.
No, or definitely not like, I don't think I was doing like single sessions or anything like that.
Right. And you hadn't come up with the mastermind yet. So we're talking on the phone. It was after stepping into Unstoppable. And Sara, like, she got quiet for a second. And then she asked me, she goes, because I was struggling in my business. I was a health coach who didn't want to work out. Like, and I felt like pressure to have to work out. And I just wasn't feeling it. And she's like, do you actually want to be a health coach? And it took me a minute. Like, the conversation like got like still. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't. And I was forcing it because I was like, well, this is something that I could make work. This is something that I could make into something successful because I love nutrition. I love changing recipes. I'm like a total freak about it. And people know that. Like, that's what people knew me for, is like, Amie's like the food person, like she knows all this different stuff about healthy food and healthy eating and blah, 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 blah. But we had that like real conversation. And she's like, okay, well, since you don't, what do you actually want to do? Like, there's no wrong answer here. Like, she gave me permission to be like honest with myself. But no, I'd never really thought about that before, because it's like, you should go to college. You should get this job. You should work up the corporate ladder. You should do this. You should, instead of what do you actually want to do? And so like, we talked through some stuff, and I'm pretty sure that I went well over my time talking with Sara. But we came to the conclusion, like, people are still reaching out to me for business advice, because in my corporate career, I did business mentoring and worked, doing that, helping grow construction companies. And I was like, people still ask me, like, oh, I'm starting this kind of company. I'm starting this kind of company. I want to start a group home. Like, what do I need to do? Like, and even like recently, I just got asked to be a board member for a nonprofit charity thing. And I was like, hell yes. Like, so that moment was so pivotal for me, having that conversation with Sara, her asking me that question and almost giving me like permission to be honest with myself, really. Like, I'd thought about, like, oh, I think it would be really cool to be like a business coach. And I thought about like, I see all these other business coaches, like their jobs must, their businesses must be so cool, but I could never. Like, why would I ever do something like that? And, and Sara and I have talked, like, it's kind of hard to gain trust as a business mentor if you've never owned a business, you've never started a business, you don't know anything about business. But that wasn't the case for me. I like knew and know business. So, fast forward to January, and she's like, yeah, hey, by the way, I'm having a mastermind. I'm like, whoo, pick me. Like, I couldn't get on the phone with her fast enough. They'll be like, here's my credit card number type of thing. And we have this joke. It's Sara, Dan, take my money. So,
I don't hate the joke.
But I mean, so that's kind of, being able to connect with somebody and have them really just like, I don't even know what the word is, but just get it and get you and help you through. Like, what now looking back, I'm like, that was so blatantly obvious, but I was like, I never saw it. I was in complete denial, so it totally changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my business. It changed everything.
I have like 9,000 things to say on this, but what's funny is like me being like, okay, what do you really want? I feel, and it's like, I'm like, I feel sad in you saying that, and then this coming up for me, but it's like, how often did we actually get asked that from our teachers, from our parents? And so like, as this is a Moms Making Money show, like, how do you ask your kids, like, what do you really want? Because like my personal trainer, like, her daughter is super into like special effects makeup. Like, we have this opportunity again to pursue our passions and to make a ton of money off of it. So I say that for like all of you all to do that, but also for your children, like allow, you know what I mean? Like allow them to be honest with themselves and allow them to go after what they truly, truly want, and condition them to recognize what it is that they truly want. Because I think, like you said, so many of us just live our lives doing like, okay, this is what I could do, or this is what I should do, or this is the smart choice because this is the degree I got. No, F all of that. What do you want? And we get to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a question here. They're not popping up over here anymore, so I'm bringing them up over here on Facebook. Kristen says, or Christine, sorry, if you don't have a babysitter, because she doesn't, or anyone to watch the kids, how do you find the time? So it is a juggle. It sometimes is very trying. Like right now, if you could see the floor in my office, it looks like a bomb exploded with puzzle pieces and affirmation cards, and my phone is down there somewhere, probably broken in half. But for me, like, to be totally honest, and I know Sarah does this with Ellie, I just let my kids be part of it sometimes. Like, I have to. Like, my clients know my kids, basically. They're like, oh, hi, Maddie. Sarah knows my kids. And, you know, like, Sarah's like an ideal coach for me because she's not put off by seeing my kid, you know, pop in every once in a while, or, you know, a little bit of extra noise. And my ideal clients are typically moms, and they're not put off by it either. Just like I'm not put off if one of my clients' kids is having a meltdown and she needs to say, like, hey, hang on for just a second. Right. One thing that I will say is, like, when I am trying to record content and I want it to be quiet, I either have to plan that for like evenings or days when I know my husband's going to be here and he can occupy them. Because we do, like I said, we do have a nanny. She was my older son's nanny, and she's pretty much family. So at this point, but she was my older son's nanny when I did go back to work. And now she comes for half a day on Thursdays, usually to help me, you know, occupy them while I'm doing the show. And then I have a horse riding lesson with one of our rescue horses. So that's kind of what I do, but sometimes you just have to juggle, and it's not always ideal. Like, I don't get up early in the morning. I'm not even going to lie about it. Like, I got up today at 7:30, and I set my alarm to get up at 7:30. And same with on school days for Easton, I don't get up overly early. So, because Maddie doesn't sleep all night, but I can stay up a little bit later and do some work. Like, I can create my outlines, I can do certain things. But when I'm having a call with a client, you know, like I always tell the story, like one of my clients was on the phone with me, and we were driving to the beach. You know, I knew, and we had discussed at that point, that the call that we were going to have wasn't going to be something that we needed to screen share. So it was like, I just took her with me. You know, that same client, I took her with me on the road to Vegas, and we had our call on the way to Vegas, you know? So I'm flexible. I'm flexible with my clients, and in turn, they're flexible with me. So I'm not going to lie and say that it's always like peaches and cream and easy, because it's not, but it's worth it. So
yeah,
that's the long.
I can't imagine like how I don't want to sound arrogant and like speak to something that I don't truly know. But here are a couple things that I will say about this is that there's always a solution. Right? There's always a workaround with anything in life. And I think deciding that there's always a solution is the first step in this, rather than like telling yourself something's a problem. Okay, how am I going to deal with this, and how am I going to be flexible with it? But the second thing that I would just encourage each and every person to do is, and you're such a great model of this, is being incredibly intentional with your time. Right? I see so often that business owners are sitting there, they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Or I'm sitting on Facebook, what should I post? Like, really be intentional with like, these are the things that I need to get done each day to build my business. Here's my money making activities, right? These are the things that I need to get done. If other stuff gets done, great, but at least that you're using those little pockets of time as intentionally as possible.
Yeah. And you know, it's like some days I don't have the inspiration to do like a full on like post or blog post or whatever. And I've come to the point where I've given myself permission to not do it. Like, I don't want it to feel forced, because then because when you're forcing your business, just like anything else, when you're forcing a workout, you're forcing a diet, you're forcing whatever, you start to resent it. And I never want that for my business.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Times 1,000. Anything that we put pressure on winds up sucking, in my experience, like every single time. So I like the term like disciplined flow. We're like, okay, this is what I'm going to strive to do each and every day. But if it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. But if you're consistent the rest of the time, that's like you saying, like, I'm going to eat clean every single day. Okay, that one Saturday that you don't, it's not that big of an effing deal. You get right back on. It's the same concept.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's like, I do like the idea of like the disciplined flow, because there's still things like I still have to show up for my scheduled meetings with clients. I still have to show up for my scheduled meetings with you. I still have to do some of the actual work to, I have to record the content, like I have to do the things still, but I don't force it. I do them now because I'm excited to share that stuff. And I know that's like the same with you. You share what's in your mind and what's on your heart because you're excited to share it, and you know it's going to make a shift for somebody and help somebody improve. So with that being said, tell us, Sarah's got a cool free gift for us to you guys. Tell us a little bit, what exactly do you do besides, change my life?
I don't even know. I mean, I've called myself a success coach lately, and I really work with female entrepreneurs, mostly coaches, although I don't only have to work with coaches. And I really work with women who either want to start a business, want to grow their business, want to up-level their business, whatever it is, and really help them on their mindset, their marketing, their strategy, whatever it is. Because I mean, I've done so much at this point, right, where I feel like I have so many things to speak to. My favorite really way to work with people is just creating courses, creating solutions. I love it. Like, I have a million ideas. And so I'm launching a new 30-day program today. I'm launching a new, I think a 4 or 6 week group program after that about building your audiences. And it's really whatever comes to me and whatever I'm excited about. That's what sells when I'm excited, rather than forcing it, just like we were talking about.
Right. Because people will pick up, I like to call it the I'll have what she's having effect. Like, obviously I didn't coin that term or that quote, that's like Meg Ryan's quote, right? But I like to call it that, because when you're so excited about something, whether it's, a new way of eating, a new cool workout program, a new car, a new pair of like super awesome yoga pants or shoes or whatever, like, that's when you get like so excited to share it. You get so excited to be like, yay, look at what I just got. Look at this neat thing. Or, this new vacuum changed my life. That's like mom talk. But then that excitement is contagious, and people are like, ooh, what is she doing? And then that's I'll have what she's having. Like, whatever she's doing, I want that. I would like to have that. And that's why being energetically behind something instead of forcing it makes all the difference, in my opinion.
Oh my God, in everything. Like, and I think this goes back to like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, and like having the purpose. Like, I think so many people get wrapped up in the like, I'm going to launch this, or I'm going to promote this, or I'm going to coach to make money or get sales. And that's fine. I get it because I've been there. But the things that I show up with, and I'm like, I just had the best idea ever. This is why you need to be in on it. This is why I'm so excited. And I don't care if any money comes in, because I'm just so excited to truly deliver. That's what makes me the most passion, and confidence. Your energy is everything in this time where, again, we're selling via live videos. And like, you can't hide behind the computer anymore. You can't just type up a bunch of posts, right? Like, you really have to show up as yourself. And so when you get excited about what you have to offer, other people get excited as well.
Right. And that excitement is contagious. It's like, I think about, back when I was health coaching, like, how many people did I add to your community? Because I'm like, you guys got to check this out. This chick has the best idea, and it's so awesome. It's totally working, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to try to regurgitate it to you. Just listen to her. She'll tell you, like, it wasn't. So it creates that kind of, like I said, that contagious effect and that magnetizing effect. So, one thing, let me post it here. Hold on, I had to turn off my mouse because Maddie was playing with it. I'm going to post it, reconnect thing. I want to post Sarah has opened up her community to us, and she's going to allow us to add to it. If I can get the mouse to reconnect.
My favorite to hang out, so I would love to see anybody.
And there's tons and tons and tons of like ongoing free coaching and free content in there. So definitely, there we go. Make sure it's up on the screen now. Make sure that you definitely get in on that. And especially too, like if you want to hop in on one of Sarah's upcoming programs, be sure you do that and get going, or even just check her out, because she has a ton of value to add. Like, I don't know, I can't even start to like give you guys like a list of what I've learned from Sarah. I mean, I've learned all the things that I needed to learn. I just asked her, and here I am. So But you know, one of the biggest things that I can honestly say that I took away from my very beginning time with Sara even was to really learn to be honest with yourself and really learn that there is no limit to what you want and what you deserve and what you desire.
Absolutely. And like, and this, I'm like coaching, like telling you something as your coach right now, but like, I think this is what a program that like you need to have, like these, like women having permission to go after it.
Yep. All right, kid, this is not a toy. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Sara, for agreeing to be on the show. It was an excellent interview. Except for that. Maddie, say goodbye to Sara.
Thank you for having me. Bye, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure you hop in on Sara's Unstoppable Community, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye.